Well, good morning, everybody. Um, my name is Molly, if you don't know me, and I'm really excited that you're here and really excited that we get to practice together today. Um, this is Ryan. He's my husband. He's gonna be doing the poses for us as I move you through them. This week is the fourth week in a 4-week series that we've been doing on rest. And I am especially excited for this practice today because it felt really appropriate to end a series on rest with a restful, like Sabbath related practice. And so that's what this practice is. It's going to be a really gentle, really restorative practice. You'll never even stand up on your mat the whole time. So my hope is that you just get to engage your muscles and your breath and start to consider some stillness. And maybe even let this practice send you into a day of Sabbathing today. So if that is something that you want to do or something that sounds like something your heart needs, I hope that this practice is a good start to it. And even if it's not, I hope that this practice is really like centering and grounding for you. It'll only be about 25 to 30 minutes. And I hope you get up off your mat feeling really refreshed and a little bit lighter and a little more in tune with the stillness of God. One other thing, if you are wanting to practice the Sabbath today, if you've never done that before, or you haven't done it in a long time, or you don't even know what that means, I created a little Sabbath guide for anybody to use that just kind of gives some options for what a Sabbath day could look like for you. I tried to run it in light of the season that we're in with stay-at-home orders and not socializing in person at time, but also I think it can be super transferable for when we're beyond the season and out of this stay-at-home order. And so, I'm going to link the little guide that I created in the bottom of this video as soon as our practice is over. So if that is something that sounds interesting to you, or it just seems like it might be helpful, you can check the little description of our practice right after this. So that's all I have to say before we get started here. So if you're not in a space where you can roll out your mat, or if you don't have a mat, make some space for yourself, and we will go ahead and get started. So you're going to begin in a comfortable seated position, like mine is. You can be even like standing on your knees if you want to. Anything that's comfortable for you. If you need to rearrange so that you don't feel like pain in your back or in your hips, do that. We're going to start this practice with a reading from the book of Genesis. The first practice that we did in this series, we talked about rest, because rest and work go together, and it feels hard to have one without the other. And so we're going to go back to Genesis today, and we're going to read the account of, or the whole account of creation, which ends with God resting. And so as I read through the first 6 days, just begin to reflect on what are those 6 days for you? What have the last 6 days of your life been like in general, like those days of work that you have, like what do they look like? And if they felt really tiring or overwhelming lately, I invite you to close your eyes, maybe open up your palms, and try to picture like the illustration of this account of creation being told and happening. Because work is something that happens, but is not something that has to be tiring or like make us really exhausted all the time. And I think that this account of creation here and the work that God did on the first 6 days is indeed work, but it's also just really beautiful and even refreshing in itself. And so, just stay present as I read several verses here from Genesis 1 and 2. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while a wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning the first day. And God said, "Let there be a dome in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." So God made the dome and separated the waters that were under the dome from the waters that were above the dome. And it was so. God called the dome sky. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth put forth vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit trees of every kind on earth that bear fruit with the seed in it." And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed of every kind, and trees of every kind bearing fruit with the seed in it. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be lights in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth." And it was so. God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. God set them in the dome of the sky to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there is evening and there is morning the fourth day. And God said, "Let the waters bring forth swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the dome of the sky." So God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves of every kind, with which the waters swarm, and every winged bird of every kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning the fifth day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures of every kind, cattle and creeping things, and wild animals of the earth of every kind." And it was so. God made the wild animals of the earth of every kind, and the cattle of every kind, and everything that creeps upon the ground of every kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth." God said, "See, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished in all their multitude. And on the seventh day God finished the work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all the work that he had done. So God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it, because on it God rested from all the work that he had done in creation. So, if you stuck with us through that whole reading of the creation story, you probably heard that the seventh day, the day that we are putting ourselves into for this practice, is a day where God rested. And since we as humans are made in God's image, formed in his likeness, we too have an invitation to rest. And so I hope that feels true for you as we practice. So, out of your seated position, you're going to come into a cat-cow pose. So come onto your hands and your knees in a tabletop position. On an inhale, you're going to arch your spine and lift your chest. Maybe even push your pelvis forward. And on an exhale, you're going to round your spine and tuck your chin. Inhale, arch, raise your chin. Exhale, round and tuck. Just begin to come into your body as you continue to do this on your own breath a couple more times. Begin to take notice of how you're feeling as you come into this practice. Maybe ask yourself, when was the last time you rested? What was that like for you? How did it feel? Good. So after your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine. You're going to step your right foot back and keep your left leg bent. So your right leg is going to, good, meet the mat like Ryan is. And then you're just going to put your weight onto your left hand and onto your feet like Ryan is. Raise your right hand up and over for the supported side plank. If you need a little more balance in this pose, you can, your left leg, you can turn it back more so that it's making a 90-degree angle. Just begin to come into your breath here. See if you can send your breath into that, the right side of your body, the part that's kind of on the underside of your curve right now. Good, and on an exhale, round your right hand back down to the mat. Bring your right knee back up next to your left knee. And we're just gonna take that on the other side. So step your left foot back. And then your left hand comes up and over as you feel this stretch here. So good. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Remember to send your breath now into the right side of your body. Good, and come back into your cat-cow position. You're going to send your hips back into child's pose here. So hips come back kind of over your feet and your arms stretched long in front of you. And we're not going to stay in child's pose for too long right now, but instead you're going to start to send your hips to the left side of your mat and your arms to the right side of your mat. So walk your fingertips over to this top right corner of your mat. Sit your hips back on the left side, and you should feel a really good stretch on the left side of your body right now. You're kind of in this crescent position on your belly. And again, just take a couple deep breaths here. Good, and then walk your hands over to the other side of your mat. Send your hips now to the right side of your body and feel this stretch on the other side. As we move through these restorative poses in our practice this morning, just give yourself freedom to bask in this Sabbath day, or at least in this Sabbath practice. You don't need to feel guilt or feel like you should be doing something else. You are made to rest because you are made in the image of a God who worked for 6 days and then rested on the 7th. And that is your inheritance now too, because you are his child. Good. Come back up onto your hands and knees. Raise your left arm up high in the air and have your gaze follow it. And then you're going to sweep your left arm down, and in that space between your right arm and your legs there, so you're threading the needle, as they call it. You should feel an opening in between your shoulder blades here. So good. Come back up, sweep your left arm back up overhead, and then bring it back down to the mat to meet your right hand. We're going to do this on the other side. So raise your right arm up in the air and then sweep it. Good. Thread the needle. Take one more breath here. And then bring your right arm back out, up and overhead, and then back down to the mat to meet your left hand. And then sink back into a child's pose here. Maybe you reach your arms out far in front of you and just stretch your shoulders a little bit more, that top part of your back. Good, and then begin to sit up. Just swing your legs out to one side and come into a seated position here on your mat. Your legs extend long in front of you. Sit upright in a position that's comfortable but not slouching or not like over sitting up. We're just going to take a couple deep breaths here in the stillness of this pose. Because as good as it is to work and to move and to do for 6 days of the week, it is good to sit and to pause and to be still on this 7th day. And so reflect on that as you just sit here for a couple of breaths in this seated pose. Good. Begin to bend your right leg and step it over your left leg so that your right foot is right outside of your left knee. We're just going to take a gentle twist here. And so your left arm comes to hug your right knee, maybe even goes on the outside of your right knee. On an inhale, grow tall. And on an exhale, with your right arm behind you, begin to gently twist. Your gaze can follow your right hand here. Just take one breath here. And then leave your leg where it is, but bring your upper body back to this neutral place. So just face the forward part of your mat here. You're going to begin to bend your left knee and walk it up closer, if that makes sense. Good. Like Brian's doing. Both of your hands can come behind you for a little bit of support here. And just begin to move your left foot closer or further away from your body as feels comfortable so that you get a good stretch in the back of your left leg. But nothing too difficult or anything that feels like it's injuring you. If it helps, you could even press with your right hand on the inside of your right knee there just to get a bit more of a stretch. Good. Step your right foot back down to the mat. Just windshield wiper your knees a little bit, so they might feel a little bit unevenly stretched at the moment, but we will fix that. So you can stop windshield wipering. Stretch your right leg now straight in front of you, and your left leg is going to step over it with your knee bent. We're going to take that twist on this left side now. And so your right arm hugs your left knee, maybe even hooks on the outside of it. Your left arm finds the mat behind you. You can move your left arm closer to your right hip or further away from it as it feels good. And just take 1 or 2 deep breaths here. Bask in the freedom that you have to be moving slowly, to be doing things that are restorative and life-giving today. Good. Bring your upper body back up to this neutral position here. Begin to bend your right knee and walk your right foot in closer to your body, as close as is comfortable for you, and flow stretch here now in the back of your leg. If you want a bit more of a stretch, you can gently use your left hand to press on the inside of your left knee. Again, do what feels nourishing for you and for your body. Step your left foot back down to the mat to meet your right leg and windshield wiper your legs just 1 or 2 times here again. So hopefully they feel evenly stretched now. One doesn't feel looser than the other. And then make your way down so that you're laying on your back. Your legs can be straight out in front of you. We're going to do a little more twisting, but this time hopefully to address like some of the upper middle parts of our back even. And so you're going to bend your right knee, and then begin to like send it over your left knee. Good, so that your hips might even become stacked with your right hip almost directly on top of your left hip. Your right arm goes straight out to the side, and your gaze follows your right arm. You should feel a really nice opening in your back here. This story of creation, it says, so God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. He made it holy. Because on the seventh day, because on it, God rested from all the work that he had done in creation. Bring your right foot or your right hip back down to the mat now and stretch your right foot long in front of you. We're going to take this twist on the other side. So your left knee bends, and then you send your left hip over on top of your right hip. You can use your right hand to guide your knee if that feels helpful, like Ryan is. Your left hand stretches out to the side and your gaze follows it. Today is a day made holy, a day that is other, different from the other 6 days of the week, different from the other 6 days of creation. And I hope that you start to feel almost like a more whole version of yourself as you engage in rest here, because as we are people, we are made to be workers and resters. I think that if we spend our whole lives working, we never give thought to what it would look like to rest. We're like incompletely images of who God is, and we're always going to be incomplete images of who He is, but I think that we get a little bit closer when we engage this restful posture also. You can come out of your twist, so your hips both come back down flat to the mat. Your left leg stretches out long in front of you. You're going to come up to sit. Good. So your legs are still straight in front of you. On an inhale, you're going to grow tall. And on an exhale, you're going to bend at the hips and lean forward. If you want to extend your arms out, you can also into this forward fold. A forward fold that is stretching, but not too hard. Something that doesn't feel like you're making your body work very hard, but instead you're almost gifting your body with this loosening of your muscles and stretching of your legs here. So bend at whatever degree will achieve that for you. Take one more breath here in the stillness of this pose. Okay, come back up to a straight spine on your inhale. You're going to bend your right knee so that your foot meets the inside of your upper left leg. And your knee can go down to the mat. And then we're going to take a forward fold again here, but this time trying to isolate this left leg. And so even with your arms, as you inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And on an exhale now, lean again, this time into your left leg here. Notice how that feels similar or different to a forward fold with your legs up. And just take 2 more breaths here in this pose. Okay. On an inhale, come back up to sit. And then your right leg can come out. On your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead again. Bend your left leg so that your left foot is on the inside of your right leg, and on an exhale, lean forward into this forward fold on the right side. Good. On an inhale, come back up to sit. Make your way down onto your back for this last pose of our practice before Shavasana. We're going to take happy baby pose. And so one more time, your legs are going to begin to bend. You can bring your knees up towards your chest. Your hands grab the outside of your feet and just rock here. Maybe side to side, maybe even forward and backward a little bit. In this last pose, just release any last bits of work that you've been holding on to in this practice. Things that you just quite can't let go, just can't keep out of your brain. Let them go here in this super childlike last pose of our practice. And then when you're ready, stretch your feet long in front of you. Your arms can come down to your side. You settle into Shavasana here. Take a deep breath. Begin to soften the muscles in your face. Maybe let the back of your neck be heavy into the mat under you. Don't feel like you need to hold your hands in a certain position. Maybe your fingers just need to let go, or your wrists just need to twist. Same with your ankles. Don't feel like you have to hold them straight up. I'm going to read us this prayer for the Sabbath. I hope is a blessing to you as you rest here in Shavasana and as we get ready to move off of our mats and back into our day. Lord, the Sabbath is special. It's your day. A day to spend in peace, but not alone. Give us your peace that surpasses understanding. Grant us peace to seek you. Grant us peace with our family and our friends. Your Trinity shows us relationship at your foundation. Help us to build relationships as Jesus showed us. Help us to worship you in a worthy way. Help us to keep you in view, to meditate on your word, to hear your voice. Lead us through the day assured that you are with us, and to know that with you each day is special. Amen. You're welcome to stay in this Shavasana for as long as you'd like. I'm going to begin to wrap up our practice. Thank you so much for joining me, for being here for these last 4 weeks, or for whatever part of it that you saw as we explored rest. And I hope really that this was impactful for you, and that resting felt like something more natural for you by the end of this series. When I stop this live stream, I'm going to, in the description of the video, put that guide for a Sabbath. So I'd really encourage you, if you have time and space today or tomorrow or the next day, practice the Sabbath. It's really life-changing in a really good way. And then lastly, sometime before this evening, I'm going to post a video that'll be a short, 15 to 20 minute practice of the prayer of examine. That's a prayer that is really helpful to pray at the end of every day, but I found especially helpful to pray at the end of the Sabbath day. And so whether or not you Sabbath today, if you'd like something really calming and centering before you go to bed tonight, in a way to just reflect on your day and meditate on where you've seen the Lord in it, you can check out that practice. Yeah, it'll be up sometime before tonight. But thank you so much. We're going to start something new next week. I'm not really sure what. If you have suggestions, feel free to let me know. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for practicing with me and for like just generally being here. And I'm glad that we get to worship together in this way. And I'll see you next week.